Good afternoon, America. Live from sun and fun, northern New England, coastal southern Maine. This is Frank Margell at the ever-popular Riverbank Park here in Westbrook, Maine. We're about 10 minutes from Maine's largest city, Portland, Maine, and it sure is nice to get out and about with you on this January 11th. Oh, we're approaching close to 1:15, maybe 1:30 in the afternoon. It's about 50 degrees in partial sunny skies, and the forecast has called for some fog this afternoon, and that may be as a result of all of this melt that is occurring. But right now, visibility is pretty good, and it sure is nice to get out and about with spring-like conditions. Yes, nearly 50 degrees. So if you've been following some of my videos and contributions on the World Wide Web, we've gone from sub-zero last week. Sometimes with the wind chill, it's been 15 below zero. We've had blizzards and ice storms, and within about a period of a week to 10 days, we're looking at spring-like conditions right here. In the second week of January 2018, that's right, January 11th, thinking Thursday. There's Old Glory, so let's take a minute before I get into some political commentary today and ask you to consider my question of the day. This is a new hobby of mine, and I do have a question for you, and stick around. But before we do that, I'd be honored if you would take a moment and pledge allegiance to the flag with me. Are you ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. What a great day to get out here in coastal southern Maine. Zoom out. I'm using my tripod again today and getting a little more practice. Let's see here. Just bear with me for a minute. Yeah, I'm going to lower the cam a little bit here now. Show you the ever-popular Riverbank Park. We'll just pan around here for a minute, and then we'll get into some political commentary, pardon me, and the question of the day. As you can see, I have a great office view. This is my temporary office today. Just kidding. This is the gazebo. Right here. Right off of Main Street to Riverbank Park in Westbrook, Maine. One of my favorite parks to visit when I'm getting out and about, maybe doing a coffee run, getting some gas, or I just need a time out. I just get a little bit of exercise, and this is the place to come and get away from it all for me today. And yes, get into some political commentary. I guess we could focus in on some moving traffic and life over there on Main Street. Yep, got the Christmas tree there in the view, although Christmas is over. Plenty of Christmas decorations to still be considered. Yeah, so let's get right into the political commentary today. And always check your facts. I'm not affiliated with any business or enterprise that you may see in the video today. Once again, I'm out here in the public domain sharing my comments and views with you. I'm not going to tell you how to think or how to vote. Do your own research and go right ahead and send me an upbeat comment or share. I'd love to hear from you, and I will respond in kind. And I want to thank those who share my videos, click on them, and send me comments from time to time. I do read them, and generally speaking, I do respond to them. I just ask you to please, because I'm out here in the public domain, to keep it upbeat and clean as much as humanly possible, and thank you very much. So let's talk about the Fourth Amendment today. Yeah, let's get into some constitutional commentary and some political commentary, and then I'll give you the question of the day. So I want to work up to it, and this won't take me long, so hang in there. And thanks again. Here we go. What is the Fourth Amendment? I'm going to quote some information I got off the internet regarding the Fourth Amendment. So go ahead and check your facts. The Fourth Amendment, quote, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." So that's an incredible amendment. It's the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. So look into that a little bit further, and it's always good to review the Fourth Amendment, and that is going to lead up to our topic today and the question of the day. The question of the day club, maybe we could call it that. Look, I have an unclassified document from the U.S. House of Representatives. It's the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, and it's regarding the FISA Section 702 debate, and it's labeled Important Facts About FISA Section 702, and it would take me about 5 months and a day to get into all of the aspects of FISA. So you're going to need to do some of your own research. However, I did get this document. Again, it's unclassified, but you can find it, and I want to give credit to where I found it so you can do some research. I got it at the https://intelligence.house.gov/uploaded files /2017_section_702_fact_sheet.pdf. Of course, you can always go on the internet and do a search and look under some information. There's plenty available regarding FISA Section 702. So what's the big to-do about FISA Section 702? Well, the House of Representatives today passed a reauthorization bill, and it now moves to the Senate. And there has been some rumor and some hubbub and some talk of the town, I'm sure in Washington and maybe in your town where you reside, if not in Westbrook, if not in New England, regarding Senator Rand Paul and his opposition to FISA Section 702 being reauthorized. However, he was in favor. Go ahead and check your facts. We're talking about Senator Rand Paul now. He was in favor of supporting Section 702, the reauthorization, FISA, provided that the amendment to the bill passed the House today. That's right, the halls of Congress. However, let me give you a little bit of information about that. The bill that Rand Paul supported was the U.S. Rights Act, and it was proposed by Representative Justin Amash. And that bill today was defeated. So you might want to look into that. So nonetheless, though, the reauthorization minus the USA Rights Act was passed, and now it moves to the Senate for consideration. And Rand Paul, the Senator Rand Paul, of course, has mentioned great opposition to this reauthorization if the USA Rights Act was not, if it was not voted on. So the bill was not amended to demonstrate the USA Rights Act. So there's a little bit of controversy for you. And if you get a chance, you can sit through some of the proceedings. It's very interesting to witness a debate about United States citizens, their Fourth Amendment rights, and the FISA courts and the way FISA operates. The Foreign Intelligence Service Agency, of course. But go ahead and check your facts. So here's this U.S. House of Representatives Permanent Select Committee unclassified document. And there's not a lot here. It's page 1 of 1. And you can find this, again, on the World Wide Web, as I had stated. I wanted to read to you what this document says. So let's just look at a few of the headers. First, FISA Section 702 is a critical authority that allows the government to obtain communications of foreigners outside the United States, including foreign terrorist threats. Let's read the next headline or bullet. For example, the government could use FISA Section 702 to obtain the emails or phone calls of an ISIS member outside the United States who is plotting an attack. The government cannot use FISA Section 702 to target the emails or phone calls of any American, even if that American is a terrorist. The next bullet, FISA Section 702 is not bulk collection and cannot be used to target Americans. It also cannot be used to target any person located inside the United States of America. There's a couple more bullets that we should consider. So let's just read the last two. Federal courts, including the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and the Independent Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board, have found FISA Section 702 to be constitutional and legal. And finally, FISA, Section 702 is one of the most important legal authorities to stop terrorist attacks. For example, FISA Section 702 allowed the government to track, find, and eliminate a top ISIS leader. And you can carry on from there and review this document and consider some of the facts I'm sharing with you. So, why then was there a need for support for the USA Rights Act then? If FISA is not in the act of collecting bulk information on U.S. citizens, then why was it necessary for there to be a bill before the House today that was struck down requiring limits to FISA? That's interesting, and many that contend in the halls of Congress that, in fact, although the reauthorization did pass the House, it's unconstitutional. So I wanted to give you another bit of information so that you may address my question of the day. Are you ready? This won't take long, and thank you for bearing with me. I think this is important, so I'm going to share it with you. This is case 15-2684, document 114, and this is a legal brief that was that is dated 10/23/2017, 2154538. This is page 10 of 40, and I also have another reference for you that I would like to give credit to this information provider. You can find this document at https://hasbajrami-EFF.org/document/AMI-EFF-ACLU-AMICUS-brief. It is a brief, and it's long. However, I just wanted to get into the meat and potatoes and two very brief paragraphs that will help to demonstrate why there is such an issue and such a division and some confusion and perhaps a potential filibuster around the reauthorization of Section 702 FISA. So this is also, this brief is also found as docket number or listing number 15-2684, paragraph L, comma, 17-2669, paragraph CON. In the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit Court, and that is the United States of America. It's quite the brief, but let's just go into the introduction, which can be found on page 10, and I'd like to quote this brief for you. I didn't write this brief, and I don't represent any of the parties in this case. I'm out here giving you my public comments in the domain, and I would like to ask you a question regarding this after I finish this paragraph. Are you ready? Quote, "This case concerns a regime of electronic surveillance unprecedented in our nation's history and unlike anything this court has countenanced in the past. Relying on a statutory authority known as Section 702, 50 U S C Section 1881A, the government intercepts billions of international communications sent by hundreds of thousands of individuals, including Americans. The government stores these communications in massive databases, retains them for years, and searches them repeatedly for information about Americans, including, as a matter of course, in domestic criminal investigations wholly unrelated to national security. This surveillance takes place inside the United States and with only limited involvement by Article 3 judges on the Foreign Intelligence Service Court. All this surveillance is conducted without a warrant or anything resembling one. And the second paragraph is just one sentence, and we're almost done here. Thank you for hanging in there and waiting for my question of the day if you haven't already figured it out. Quote, "This regime of warrantless surveillance violates the Fourth Amendment." And this is a brief, so you're going to have to do a lot more research and look into that case. Nonetheless, this is before the halls of Congress and it's coming before the Senate. So I'd like to read to you once again what the Fourth Amendment says. You ready? "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." So my question to you, after you do some research, you don't need to be a genius. You can use common sense. You can use whatever you want. But here's my question. Do you believe that the reauthorization that took place in the House and the halls of Congress today is unconstitutional? And if so, I'm going to ask you another question. Is it unconstitutional because it violates Americans' Fourth Amendment rights? Pretty basic. And do you believe, I'll give you three questions. It's supposed to be the one question of the day club, but hey, let's just go for it. Do you believe that Rand Paul has standing to oppose in the Senate and perhaps filibuster the FISA Section 702 Reauthorization Act because he believes that it is in violation of the United States of America's Constitution and Americans' rights under the Fourth Amendment? So it's pretty simple. We could just narrow it all down. Do you stand with Rand Paul in a potential filibuster because you're at Fourth Amendment violations? Or do you stand in favor of Section 702 FISA, irregardless of what the Fourth Amendment says and requires for all American citizens. I try to keep it as simple as possible, but go ahead and send me a comment. Thank you very much. It is a gorgeous Maine day to get out and about, spring-like conditions. I'll get better at the question of the day club, and the question of the day club could actually end up morphing into like 3 or 4 questions of the day club. But I want to hear your comments and views. If you have any, maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's all good. These are just my opinions and views. I try to keep it simple for you, and you can do some research. But this is very important, and we may be witnessing a filibuster here before too long regarding this reauthorization. As a matter of fact, there was some confusion while I was following the story with which way the President of the United States was leaning towards this, and apparently he seemed to lean in favor of the reauthorization in spite of Rand Paul's potential filibuster. My view, I clearly believe that the reauthorization may be an act of Congress and may follow under their jurisdiction under the Foreign Surveillance Act. But I also do believe that it is, in principle, a violation of the Fourth Amendment to proceed, and it's simple. The Fourth Amendment should not be replaced by FISA Section 702. This is not the way the Constitution works. So I stand with Rand Paul. So there, I gave you my opinion. I'm not going to tell you how to think about this. He may or may not filibuster. We'll see. So you have a great Maine day, Main Street, Riverbank Park, January 11, 2018, about 50 degrees. Getting all political with you, thank you very much for enduring my questions of the day club. Please join. Please send me an upbeat comment, share. Thank you for all the upbeat comments and shares. And you have a great Maine day. I also want to thank all those who serve the United States of America, serve Westbrook, serve New England, all those in our military, all those who stand and swear an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. And over half the House of Representatives today passed this Section 702 Reauthorization Act and swore an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. Amazing. I'll keep you posted and have a great day. This is Frank out. You take care.